Well, at least it was shorter than last night's Elevation. I'm John Redden with my review of AEW Dark. 17 matches, 2.5 hours last night, 16 matches, 95 minutes tonight. I've harped on it before, I'm going to harp on it again. Cut down the amount of matches, do some video packages. I've seen some great talents in Washington State that have been featured on a few episodes, and it's really goddamn cool. But here's the thing. If you want to keep utilizing these indie talents, men, women, tag teams, doesn't matter. If you keep utilizing them week after week after week, even if they're losing, if you want to sign them, give us a reason to care. Oh, this is a cat person. They work at an animal shelter in their spare time. Or they lost a parent, or, they lost a sibling, or a sibling sick, and they're wanting to succeed in wrestling to help, pay for their, siblings or their parents' medical care. Whatever. Just give us a reason to care about these people instead of just saying, oh, yeah, they've wrestled all over the world, or they've wrestled for a few years and stuff like that. Just give us a reason. Otherwise, they're just going out and having matches, and that can only take you so far. AEW has a great social media presence, and also they have the TNT platform. Have less matches on TNT, go 20 minutes, and give us some video packages about people you keep featuring week after week after week that the vast majority of people don't know about. Give us a reason to want to research more about them. Just a 2-minute video package can goddamn do it for the right people. Anyway, SCU took on Jay Lyon and Midas Black. Best Meltzer ever, 1, 2, 3. There wasn't a lot to these matches, so it's going to be kind of a quick criticism, / analysis of them. There's actually going to be very little criticism of anybody, except Luther. Luther should not be in the ring. He took on Matt Sydal. I don't know why this wasn't over in 2 minutes. Matt Sydal won with the lightning spiral. It's not that Luther's a bad guy. I'm sure he's a nice guy. He just he should not be in the ring. He just shouldn't at all. Matt Sydal, though, very good. And then 5 and 10 is the Dark Order with -1. Took on Kit Sackett and Hayden Backlund. It was fine. This is going to suck for Kit Sackett or sack for Kit Sucklet. That would have been even worse. Sucklet. Suck it. You know what? I'm just going to move on from this. Full Nelson for the win. 10 gets the victory. 5 and 10 work well as a team. I will say that much. Colt Cabana with -1. We're just repeating this all over the place. Against the Man Scout, Jake Manning. He's dressed like a Boy Scout. Now, apparently they've wrestled for years and years and years. I saw this on AEW's social media, so okay, cool. They seem to know each other really well. Why were they fighting over a Boy Scout manual? Why were they playing keep away with that? This is not I don't mind comedy, but it's like, seriously, no, I didn't understand this at all. Must have been an inside joke with them. Billy Goat's Curse for the win. And then we get Red Velvet and Big Swole with Kylan King versus Amber Nova and Queen Anamata. Was Queen Anamata on WoW Women of Wrestling? Because I swear I've seen her before. Amber Nova, I know the name. I think I've seen her before. And I like Kylan King. And Red Velvet has a great story. Red Velvet, has a pretty good story. Big Swole also has a very good story. Red Velvet is better in the ring than Big Swole. Swole is a fine athlete, but it's just something about her work just doesn't speak to me. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. I'm not saying she's a bad person. Red Velvet won with a spin kick, 1, 2, 3. Jade shows up, and we get a bit of a pull apart because they're going to have a match on Dynamite tomorrow. We then get Aaron Solo with QT Marshall and Nick Camarado. They're the Factory Wolfpack, and you might wind up bashing Cody's head in, and so Red Velvet can save you. The lyrics don't quite translate all that well. And Aaron took on Fuego del Sol. It wasn't bad. Solo's a decent heel. Del Sol almost got the Tornado DDT, but oh no. Weird, trap pedigree thing where, Del Sol's head hit the goddamn mat. That looked brutal. 1, 2, 3. And then the Dolph Twin, a.k.a. Ryan Nemeth, talks about, being a dominant force in AEW. He has won some matches, but he's lost some matches. He knows his role, and he does it well. And talks about facing Alex Reynolds in the main event. Gun Club, Billy, Austin, and Colton took on Andrew Palace, Mike Magnum, and Stone Rockwell, who apparently was like Alan Quartermain. That's all I could think of when I saw him. Gun Club, look, they're fine. It's cool. They get to team with their dad, but Billy Gunn in a wrestling ring in 2021, even if he can still move, not really necessary. I'm not ageist. I just think there's a certain time, for people to not be in the ring anymore. And then Underhook Neckbreaker by Colton, 1, 2, 3. Kylan King took on Maddie Renkowski. Watching you, Renkowski. Apparently, Renkowski has a cat. Cool. Renkowski, if you will. That didn't quite work. I like Kylan King, and the chops were laid in. This was fine. It was probably the best Maddie Renkowski match that I've seen. And there was a quick catch into Kingdom Falls, 1, 2, 3. So Kylan King gets the victory. And then Dark Order talk about the main event and State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there because you got to plug that sponsorship. Actually, and to be fair, fine. It was fine. At least they seem to be having fun. Matt Hardy with everyone in his party, taking on Ken Broadway, who tossed money around. Say really quickly, I have been critical of Matt Hardy's character, character changes and whatever in the past and, recently. I'm putting that to the side for the time being. Him and Jeff lost their dad. Very terrible. My thoughts are with Matt and Jeff. Their dad was a big influence on their life. They talked about that in other documentaries, and he obviously meant a lot to them. So criticisms to the side. He's going to be facing Darby Allin. Darby Allin was in the stands. And Broadway just kept throwing money around. He has a pretty good look, actually. And he hit a nice moonsault, or he tried to, but he threw money around, did the make it rain, and then missed the moonsault. And then Matt sees Darby and hits the spike twist of fate that Broadway really took well. And then gets the leech. The leech for the win. Attack of the Giant Leeches. If you've seen Attack of the Giant Leeches, you will get it. If you haven't, that was mind-numbingly stupid, like a lot of my comments. And then Matt says that he will beat Darby for the title. I don't think he will. Who knows? I think it's a taped Dynamite, and I actually don't know what the results are. If you do, please don't post them in the comments. So we get Uno and Grayson with -1 versus Vario Morales and Spencer Slade. Slade has a good look and headgear straight out of Rick Steiner's playbook. He also got beat with the fatality in about a couple minutes. Speaking of which, the new Mortal Kombat movie is coming out. That ought to be pretty interesting. So, Britt Baker with Rebel, don't call her Reba, took on Shauna Reed. Why is Shauna dressed like a girlfriend I had in college? Seriously, she actually is dressed like a girlfriend I had in college. Now, that was a long time ago, but I don't know much about Shauna Reed. She did fine. She got in a few shots, but Britt beat her pretty easily, gained a lockjaw for the win. And then it's Team Taz with Hobbs and Hook taking on Carly Bravo and Dean Alexander, who seem to be a standard team now that just gets destroyed. And yeah, Starks kept egging Cage on. Eventually, he hit the drill claw 1, 2, 3, and also Hook and Hobbs got out, which really sounds like a bad cop drama. Were out there beating up Carly Bravo while the referee was either distracted or just didn't give a shit to call the DQ. And then Nyla Rose with Vicky, who does the introductions for Nyla Rose, so automatically I care less. I like Nyla Rose. I think Nyla Rose should have been used as a dominant force. She took on Layla Gray, who I think has a great look. And she pretty much she got in a few shots and then basically got destroyed. Beast Bomb 1, 2, 3. Varsity Blondes, Pillman Jr. and Griff Garrison took on Will Alday and Prince Kai. King Kai. But Will Alday, I think, was on Primetime Live a few times. I believe he's part of Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, if I recall correctly. It wasn't bad. Era Pillman 1, 2, 3. Then Lance Archer with Jake Roberts versus Cole Carter. Roberts is on commentary. So Archer kicks Carter right away and then goes to the corner and does the stuff while his music's still playing. And this match went longer than a minute. Now, I got nothing against Cole Carter. I mean, I'd like to see what else he could do. But after that, you should have just had Lance Archer hit a couple moves and beat him in a few seconds. Really, would it have made any difference? I mean, yeah, Archer's really good. And giving Cole Carter something wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. If he hadn't hit him with that, just knocked him down in his entrance, it would have meant something else. Anyway, he beat him with the Ripcord Slam, which was pretty cool. And then the Dolph Twin, Ryan Nemeth, with JD Drake, who I actually think can do something pretty good in AEW. I saw a recent post just before I started this review that he's been trying to cut weight. Apparently, he was just over 300. Now he's down to 279. Whatever helps him with his health is most important. If he is happy with that, great. I like to see what JD Drake can do. And Ryan Nemeth knows his role, and he lost to Alex Reynolds with, via a winding slam 1, 2, 3. And it was like in a few minutes, and that was it. That was 16 matches, 95 minutes, and there you go. That is it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritland. I'll see you soon.